Yes, I realize that there's no music playing. I have no intro music playing. It is just me, my sexy, sultry voice. That is because of what I'm going to attribute to my generosity and not my laziness. I just want you guys to be able to listen to whatever music that you guys want to while this is playing. And it's not because I don't want to have to edit in some bullshit NCS music. So, with that, let's get started. So the direction that we're going to go is this picture by Austin Visual, at Austin_Visual. I really like the colors in this. For the most part, I know that it's going to just be a simple color grade, but that's if you have a decent base. And I do. I think I do. So this is the base picture, and let's see. It's not a very good side-by-side, but you can see how the tones are almost the same. Maybe not the tones. Maybe that's not the values of the colors. The saturation is about the same. This just has a lot less color than this one. I like how it has a lot of contrast, opposite colors or close to opposite. So we have the blue here with the blue sky against this red little carriage here, and then also this blue sign with the red lettering, which just goes to show. And even let's see back here, this like sort of reddish building with the blue windows. It's just going to show that like, okay, we're gonna take one color scheme, one opposite color scheme, and we're gonna mimic it throughout the image. And this is thinking about it now is it's a technique that I would do in Blender, or at least was explained to me in terms of 3D modeling and stuff. Is if you want something to look more detailed, more full, more rich than it is, there's a lot of like little simple tools that you can use. So in this case, it would be mirroring. So, or maybe it's called mirroring, or instancing, whatever you want to call it. But you take one element and then you just repeat it over and over on a smaller level. So in this case, it's like, okay, let's look at this building. Let's shift this building to blue and red. Let's look at the sky and this. Like, so basically take two major parts of your image and then make them opposites of each other at different scales. So, I mean, this is in self-contained modules, kind of. I hope I'm making sense, but I'm just saying that, like, this bar sign is both red and blue. This building is both red and blue. This main feature in the middle right here is red and blue. So, in this case, what are we seeing here? We're seeing a green and a blue, and we see here yellow. But what we would do then is shift that more to a blue or no, we need opposites. So let's call it blue and yellow. Actually, that might work out well, because you see this this build, or this top right here could be shifted to blue, and then this right here could be shifted to yellow, and then we have. And this is where it's going to get a little interesting, is that I'm thinking we actually shift this to yellow. The sky we shift to yellow. And then the trees we shift to... Actually, now that I'm saying it, it's kind of stupid, because green is a lot more similar to yellow. So, okay, no, but that'll work. We're going to do blue and yellow for this image in terms of this mirroring. So... that's the plan. I was thinking about making this a 20-minute challenge, doing it on official. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, but I just want to try to get this done in about 20 minutes, using that as the main image. And then I also have some other ideas. But first off, let's just drop this in. Do we like the crop? We could probably crop it a little bit better. 5:7 is probably good. Yeah. Okay, yeah, it's really close to that already. Let's get more of the sky in there. Yeah, I like that. I like the balance of this. So, simple color grade, but there was something I did want to try, which was turning it black and white, editing it, and then putting the original image back on top. So, let's see if I can demonstrate it more than just talking about it. So, essentially, we're just going to put it to black and white first. Let's see if I can try something like this. If I put the color balance underneath the black and white, yeah, cool. So, what I'm going to do is have the original image, so this image, I'm going to have it over to the side just to be able to reference and see which colors are in the scene, so that I know, I know which colors to edit with the midtones and the black and white. So let's leave that here for now. Let's just get a very general basis. Our focal point, because it's kind of more in focus and it is a bit more prominent in the scene, is going to be the house. Let's do this. Let's push the yellows. Let's see. Okay, the yellows are going to really mess with the trees. The greens, okay, so this isn't like color balance. This is, It's just something different. But let's just try to make it look good in black and white. Let's not worry about the color. Let's just get a striking image in black and white, which that's pretty good. Bring the cyan up, mess with the purple. That doesn't do much. Red doesn't do much either, except we could make that brighter. Okay, it's looking kind of decent. Something like that. And now, okay, let's mess with the color balance. So let's go to, actually, I learned a cool curves trick. It's pretty nice. So let's choose, and let's see if it actually, let's go back to the curves. Let's put that above. And then let's see if we can do this. Yeah, okay, cool. So we can actually choose one of these colors and then bring it, we could choose one of the colors and just edit that specifically. So like this dark area here, if we want this darker, what we could do is just bring that down a bit. And then we want this to be all midtones, okay? So let's bring the sky really up like that. Let's bring this down like this, but then we want to lighten. So it's just gonna be a little bit of a back and forth and just kind of, you know, messing. Oh, that makes it kind of interesting. So just make it, and then let's bring this down a bit. So then let's see the before and after, you know? So I do like how this is brightening up here. I want the tiles to be a little bit more pronounced, but I don't think that they will. And actually, let's increase. See, at a certain point, you reach a diminishing return on this looking like a light shaft. Okay, so I still don't like that. I want to, let's turn off. No, we want black and white still. Yeah, color balance, you're not doing much, so we're just going to throw you there. The trees, though, I want more detail. Oh, okay, so cyan is actually the predominant color here. Or dominant color, predominant, I don't know. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, so because we edited the curves on top, well, actually, is that true? Yeah. Yeah, so having curves on top doesn't change it that much, but you can see how, you know, we can get some really beautiful, striking contrast. Yeah, I like that a lot, actually. So if we turn off the curves, you can see the difference, how much this pops now. Well, I think it does. I like it, and that's the important part. Okay, so then at this point, what I would do, I think, is add a gradient map. And then you know what? Let's do some cool shit here. Let's take our reference image, and I don't know if you guys know this or not, but what I'm going to do is try to find, because I'm doing blue and yellow. There really isn't any nice yellows in here, but there is a blue tone. Actually, maybe I can select the red in that image. So let me just show you what I'm talking about. So all the darker parts, I'm going to want to be blue. I want to shift to blue. Right. So, and this is just, trust me, this is just one step in the process. I believe there'd be one more. Yeah, I think there would be. So, let's select. So what you do is if you hit Control and then click on the image and then drag off and then let go. You see how it's like color picking? I'm actually selecting things in an image that's not in Photoshop. So these darker parts, I want to be blue. So I'm going to select like a nice blue like that, right? And then this higher part, I'm going to want to be yellow, but let's just select. So we're going to Control, click, and then drag off the image. And now we can just select anything on the other screen. Let's find a nice red. It's about the tone I like. But then now let's move it more to yellow and see what happens. Oh, that kind of goes hard. Let's see if we get more of a pure yellow. Without it, yeah, I like that. So without these two things, let's see here, it like loses a lot of readability readability, I suppose. It loses a lot of it in the shingling here and in the trees. But then if we add the curves and the black and white, it adds a little pop. Maybe we could, and that's the thing I like about Photoshop, at least. For stuff like this, is the editability, like right here. I want to see some more detail without really messing with anything else. So what if we had another curves and do the same thing? You could try to bring it up, but at a certain point we lose legibility. Let's just mess around. So there's also this cool trick that you can do with the pencil, where if you just kind of like move around like this. Oh, it's because it's off. We turn it on. Yeah, see how that goes? So we could actually maybe capture some more detail in here, and then we could just draw that line. So that's kind of what it is now. If I want these dark tones, I'm going to want to lighten them up a bit, so I'm going to just draw right there. And it's, you know, this is probably a better way to do this. But like, see how there's a peak here? Let's just draw a little something there. You can see how we can get some more detail. Same thing, peak here. Let's brighten that up. Actually, we could try darkening it and get a cool effect too. But only to a certain extent, I think. I don't want this. I want this to be a little bit higher. Okay. I'm pretty sure there was a way to find out where it is on here. Oh, I think I have to go back to this part, right? And then I go here. Yeah, then it tells me. Cool. I wish I could like hover over this and it would tell me exactly where that is. But I could see that, you know, this area right here is towards that darker part. So we could just boost this a little bit. Yeah, see how now we got a little bit more detail back. And instead of a line, let's just actually spike it with. Okay. Yeah, okay. It's a little much, but that is what we want. Because I don't want this to overpower the whole thing. There's also not a lot of variety. I've noticed there's not a lot of variety in here. And I'm just trying to like arc it as much as I can to get as much variety as I can. That's pretty good. Now, I'm not going to go too far with this because there's more after this. This is kind of just like I'm thinking a little bit too far ahead with this, I suppose. So what we could do is group this, and we're going to call this there's more of a color grade. Sure. I mean, we could call it whatever we want, really. Gradif, that works too. So we have color gradif, and now we're back to this base image, right? And I mean, even just that's something like cool. If you want to shift the colors, if you want to do some other stuff, you can get some cool like pop art out of that, most likely. But then, okay, so then the big effect here is still. Jeez, okay, let me think about this. All right, I'm gonna go into a little bit of work mode, and then if I have a comment, I'll bring it up. But the main idea here is I'm going to be turning this into an index color, this image here. I'm going to index the colors here and use it more as a crypto mat. And if you don't know what a crypto mat is, it has nothing to do with cryptocurrency. We're not doing some NFT bullshit over here. Crypto mat is essentially just, it would block out specific objects. And this is in terms of 3D modeling where, so when you have a 3D scene and you render it to a 2D image, since you have all of the data of these objects in the 3D scene, you could have a perfect mask of each individual object because I would have to have like a satellite 3D object on top of this house 3D object, right? So I could just say, hey, render out this is like a pure yellow and then this is a pure red, right? And then I have like a perfect mask around these objects. I without having to like manually mask them around, what you could also do instead is create a brightness color mask, essentially, where all of the bright parts that are matching in the scene would be a single color, right? So instead of having like the satellite and the house be separate objects, you would have like, you know, this this sort of midtone right here matches with, well, and this isn't true, but like this right here, right? So this would be like let's call it like an orange, right? So this would be orange, this would be orange. But what that allows us to do is switch it to black and white, adjust the actual brightness of those specific colors or of those specific brightness, and then add color after the fact. And that's what this color grade is for, kind of. But we can take this image's color, because we still kind of like the color, we can adjust it to something that we like and then add the color grade on top. So that's essentially the plan, and I'm going to kind of just shut up and do that. I'm listening to music, I'm hanging out, and if there's something that I think is interesting, I'll bring that up. So something right off the bat is when you index color, it flattens everything in your layer stack. So you're going to want to copy that image and put it into a new file here. The nice thing is that if you just copy the image, hit just Control C and then go to New, one of the first options here is clipboard, so it'll make the artboard or the canvas the exact size of your picture. So. And then at this point, we're going to say I want 4 or 5 colors. 7 is a little much. Well, we're not going to worry. 3 is too little. Let's see what 5. 5's good, yeah. So sure, the colors aren't like magical. It doesn't look super great, but we can use the lightness, brightness values. I keep saying light. Okay, just for future reference, lightness and brightness to me mean the same thing. They probably don't, but just to me they do. And when I reference it, they're interchangeable. So just keep that in mind. So we're gonna go back to index, or go back to RGB, and then we're gonna bring that to back in. Oh, then there's some also really cool stuff we could do with dithering. When we and this is I hate the tangents that I go on sometimes, but it's just I think it's cool. It makes the videos longer, but I think I'm giving good information. I hope I am. If we go to grayscale, discard it, goes straight to black and white. This probably actually we already copied the picture over. That's fine. So what we could do is go to image. We have to go to grayscale first, but then we can go to bitmap, and then once we do all that, we can. The one thing I don't like is there's no preview. You have to just commit to it, and then if you don't like it, go back and do the whole thing again. But what we could do is let's just do a classic, what is it, diffusion? Yeah, diffusion dither. And then it looks all weird, right? But then when we zoom in, it gives this like super cool dither effect. Now it's a little bit too much, right? And at certain distances within Photoshop, you see how much it's changing from thing to thing. It will commit to one of these when you render it out, and it will look good when you render it out, but just for Photoshop's sake, because it can zoom in as much as it wants without having to export it at a certain resolution, it's just going to look kind of weird. But to sort of combat that and get a better idea of what it's going to be, we can just go to bitmap, flatten the layers, that's all good. Put this, and for example, we're going to do a 16, and then it will shrink the image, and you'll have to scale it back up, but there's it's a lot less dense. And this could give a really nice real life. Because one thing I noticed in film is that it has a certain noise to it that isn't noise. It's not like digital. It's not digital noise. It's analog sort of noise. Just based on like impurities of the film, I believe that's my guess of what it is. I don't actually know why it causes it or even what it is, but this kind of if you were to maybe blur it a little bit and then overlay it onto your image, could give it that like film effect, even though it's digital. And then mixed with maybe like stealing the color grade from a different image, from an actual like old school film image, you could really mix those things together and get a pretty convincing film effect from digital. Assuming that you that's the thing. It's like it's funny. You need a really high power, or not high power, but like a high resolution camera that takes really crisp, nice pictures, just so that you can decimate it and make it into that old school looking effects where the cameras weren't as good as we have now. It's funny how that works. But anyway, I completely lost where I was gonna go with this. I think I got it though. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's continue. Okay, and then just, again, this has nothing to do with it, but a cool effect that you can do if you use the pencil and the properties tool, you can see I'm just like kind of swirling around and it becomes this, that, whatever color. I'm just really messing with the channels, and then let's just say all of a sudden I like one of these effects, so that's cool, sure. We can hit this tool, and it actually will smooth it out for the most part, I think. It's because it's, if we look at this one, I think it'll... Okay. Okay. So if you mess with other files, that's actually, that kind of goes hard, not gonna lie. Let's just try something. I really love the hue and color, the way that it interacts with the image. Like that looks really, this looks really nice. I'm just actually gonna export a, I call them, like in progress, or just like in progress. Something like that, just because I think it's a cool effect. I like the look anyway. Okay. So what I'm kind of decided on here was enough visibility in the trees and here to be good, but the big part that I like right now is the sky versus the thing here, and actually the this supports it, right? So we have here, actually, let's go back and check. So these might need to be reversed, but okay. Anyway, we just use that initial image as a starting point, and then we can like evolve it however we want. But what I was thinking is, the sky is going to be brightness, lightness, darker than this, except the color is going to be brighter. And okay, and what I mean by that, like yellow is an inherently brighter color than blue. There's a video that I'll link in the description that explains it really well. And I don't think I'm using all the principles in that video here correctly, but it's enough for me to have a vague idea what I want to do. So at this point, we're going to throw a black and white on top of that, and then also we're going to look at it and see if we like that, and we could even go farther and edit this. It's just essentially every step of the way, you're just trying to make a good, well balanced image that you like, So with the black and white, I think that's pretty good. This could be a little bit darker. So actually, let's bring that down a bit. Get some nice contrast here. We could maybe brighten that up a bit. Yeah. Okay. No, I'm really digging that. This could be lighter, but that's gonna wreck with the other. No, not wreck, but yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's just got to be that. But in lieu of masking everything, this is just going to be as good as it's going to get. And I just like how this is all I care about, really. I just want this to look nice, the main focal point of sorts. I think it does, so we'll leave it at that. And then if we were to, let's do this. So this is our base image here. Actually, that's not true. We need this. We need the brightness of this to be a mask on the color. Let's see if I can execute this as it is in my head. Okay, so let's just do this, and then let's merge. So if we merge this group, now we have a black and white value, which can be used as a mask. And the brighter the color is, or white is going to be show this absolutely. Black is going to be don't show this absolutely. We can also reverse it if we want the reverse. But what I'm going to do is just copy this. Or actually, I'm going to control everything and then copy it. And then if I bring it here and add a mask, if I hold down Alt and left click on the mask, let's see if I can paste that. And I can paste it in. That is dope. Okay, that's cool. I like that. So now what that means, if I turn these off, we have a mask. Okay, but that's the thing, right? It's like it's just showing the exact same image. If we were to edit this, so let's call it saturation, right? Let's bring the saturation way, 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 way up, and have it only affect this. Now do you see where? And then here, let's just group these. Do you see where I'm going with this now? Because this is darker in the overall image, it's not going to take the saturation effect as much as something like up here, which really does. You see, like down here, barely changing at all, but then like a higher lightness value, inherent lightness value, regardless of hue, is going to take the effect more than something that has a darker lightness value inherently. Yeah. So from here. What we could do is mess with this We can mess with this, turn this to black and white. Yeah, oh my gosh. Yeah, we're getting it. We're getting close. Just gonna mess with this a bit. I honestly, I hope you guys are getting something out of this, because I know I'm gonna have to go back and watch just to figure out what I was doing. We don't need to use hue and saturation, actually. We just need to edit this image to the point that we like the color of it, and that's it. So, actually, what we're going to do... Oh, that's kind of cool. And that's because it has this on there. But for now, let's disable it. And then let's just edit this to the point that we like the color. And then that's it. That's all we're going to do. So... Oh, okay. So one thing I just kind of noticed here was if we could kind of like average it out where if I wanted to mask out this main feature, I could to make it more yellow and this more whatever, but I just don't want to do that right now. But if we take the blue and we want that to be more yellow, well, obviously what do? We would boost the yellow with the blue, and then we can do stuff to refine that yellow, right? So, adding more cyan actually does seem to increase the yellow value. If we have more green versus purple, if we have more green, because that's opposite of magenta, we do get a better yellow color. And then let's just try to fiddle with this. So that's going to make it more green. So actually, let's bring it back. So like that, and then let's see the before and after. See, okay, now I think that looks a lot better. So that's the before without any editing. That's the after. See, we took a lot of the blue. We took pretty much all the blue out of that. And then let's do the opposite. Let's go to the yellow and then see what happens. Because this is inherently blue. But so I'm guessing that this is going to change when we mess with this. No, it looks like just kind of the trees. Just those back trees. I wonder what this color is then. Because we can't mess with that, can't we? Okay, so that's really going to mess with the sky. And the sky we want to be blue, but not like gross blue. Like a nice... weirdly warm blue. That's too much green. Yeah, okay. That's too little blue. So we're gonna add some blue back. Okay. Honestly, it's just you look at the image, right? So I want this to look like a very nice blue. You just do things that make it look blue, and like I don't want to explain like every little thing in detail, but I also kind of do like to. I just look. This is not a 20-minute video. I'll tell you that much. That's fine though. So we're just gonna look at this, right? So cyan. What's the opposite? And okay, well let's take a step back. Let's look at this. This is blue, right? Without anything, it's blue. So we just kind of do things that push it in a way that we want. So I want it to be more blue, and we're gonna look at these colors, and we're just gonna push them more towards as blue as we can, assuming that like this middle point here means it's normal, and think about this as this is the plus axis, this is the minus. So we look at the color, it's going to be yellow. Do we want more yellow? No, because we want more blue, and yellow is opposite of blue. So if we take away yellow, we get blue, right? So that's why we push it that way, and we're actually still in the white. If we go back to like the cyan, yeah, cyans are gonna be really affected. So it's like I want more blue. Well, we do that, and oh look, all of a sudden it's shifting more blue. We want it to be yellow. Oh look, all of a sudden it's more yellow. So it's really not that complicated once you kind of understand like what the opposite of each one of these is. Like the opposite of cyan is red. I don't want the cyans to look more red. I want them to be blue. So let's increase that. Oh, and see no. Oh no, and that's true. I did the opposite in my head. So once to be more blue, we're gonna add cyan, right? And mix with the yellow and blue, you're gonna get a green. So we just boosted a blue color, we boosted a yellow color. It's gonna turn more green. I don't want it to be green. Luckily, what's the opposite of magenta? Green. So we could actually boost this to get rid of the green and turn it more magenta-y. We could bring it back all the way down to 0 to make it super green. Now, we want it to be blue, right? So let's do everything we can to make it blue. We can even shift the magenta because magenta is more related to blue than it is yellow. At least I would think so. So if we max all these cyans out, we actually get a pretty decent color here. And then the greens, they're not really doing much. I think those are actually like neutrals. Yeah, they're more neutrals than anything. I mean, everything in this image is neutral apparently. But the tone I want to give is more blue. Or actually, no, this is good. A little bit more red. Yeah, let's put some more red in there. So the magenta is more close to red than it is blue, which I think is contradictory to what I said before. But that's fine. I'm here. Let's see if we add some. That's too much, right? No, let's just not. Let's not mess around with that too much. Yellow might help us. Yeah. Yellow's gonna help us. So you see, like this, understanding the color, like this was the image like as it came in. It's like it's all gross and yucky. With a little bit of messing around, we get like it's just so much more pleasing. Actually, I like this color, and let's commit to it. Fuck it, let's commit to this color. So then what we do is do something like this, right? So we're just going to say selective color. I only want you to affect this. And then if we enable the layer mask, these effects are only going to more appear where the brighter brighter parts of the image are rather than the dark. So now if we turn on this base layer, we have a really just like very subtle color. And like I said, we could invert this. If we do this, now all the greens, all the darker colors are going to have more color. And see, yeah. So I mean, even that looks kind of cool. It's a little bit dark. We could kind of tone that up. Okay. So let's brighten it up. Mess with the actual like the lightness and dark values, and then add some vibrance and saturation. But if we look at this image here, you can see almost where I'm going with it. You know, we went from like a super harsh, because I took this on a Sony. Let's see. I took this on a Sony DSC-W350. It's a camera from like 2010. It's like super shitty compared to like anything else, but you could still make something that like looks nice. Something that like you see like this, right? This looks like it's a beautiful picture. And I'm sure, well, I'm not sure, but I would assume that a DSLR was used to make it look like this. And if you could take a small dinky whatever camera that you get from Goodwill and turn it into something that it takes somebody else a DSLR and all this stuff too. And I'm not saying that like you're trying to be better than these people, but at the same time, you want to challenge yourself, because you could say, I mean, I have a DSLR, and I cannot get it to work as well as this person can. Like I'm that. Like, I could take a picture just fine, but, like, to use it at the expert level that other people are, I just can't do it. So what I like to do is use the more hardware that I like using, because this has a very beautiful auto mode. I just like using it, and then take influence from other people and just try to create your own way of doing things, if that makes sense. I just don't want it to sound like I'm saying that, like, you have to be competitive against other people, where it's the quite opposite is the truth. Like, you could take every inspiration from everybody else and like build something from that without having to tear somebody down, you know. All that being said, let's just finish this up. I'm noticing through doing all this stuff, I'm losing this blue color. I'm sure there's ways that I could preserve it. Like, I could just select the sky and just edit the sky individually. Fuck it, I'll just do that. So I'm just gonna do this. So let's do select the sky. Right. So that's good enough. That's pretty good. Let's go here. Let's just add a hue and saturation, and then that's going to apply the mask to this hue and saturation so that whenever I edit it, it only messes with the sky. We can increase the saturation, the lightness. That's not... Oh, that is cool. That's cool as shit, dude. Wow, okay. Not what we want right now, though. So let's actually brighten it up, shift it to where it's more of a blue, and then increase it before we get banding. Maybe colorizing it. Yeah, see? Oh, that's nice. That is beautiful. Yeah, so let's just edit that till we get a blue that kind of matches. We can also do this. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that'll work. So I would do something like this. These colors, they look too dissonant. I wonder, okay, for now, I mean, I think this is a very, very nice edit. I'm not going to say that this is like a good overall picture. Like this is in itself as a work of art, but I think the process of the transformation itself was like, I mean, from this to this, like, I mean, okay, that's the point. We're not going to compare this to this image. It's just an entirely different image. Like the subject matter, like I said, camera, let's not use that as an excuse, but it's just like subject matter, the colors that were just in the initial photo, the lightness that was taken, like the ISO, and I'm gonna say more of the terms of like the ISO that like every camera has. You know, it's different in a lot of ways. But if we take this as inspiration, right, and we try to make this, we can turn like pretty much anything, like any picture, from just like a gross like whatever that came off of a camera, and then transform it into, you know, something that's actually somewhat pleasant to look at, you know. So again, not a work of art in itself, but the whole process of getting from here to here, that I think is impressive. That's the cool part to me. So there you go. Hope you guys learned something. I think that I used a pretty decent smattering of different tools and techniques to get here, that even like that would constitute an entire video on its own, and maybe I'll do that. But if I hear that you guys say like, hey, just throw a timestamp down and say, hey, at this point you did this thing, why'd you do that, why does that work, how can we take that farther, then I'll make a whole video on that if you guys want. Otherwise I'll just kind of do it at my own leisure, just whatever I think is cool and interesting I'll make a video on. Anyway, good luck, have fun, have a good day. I'm hungry, I've been drinking coffee all day, it's the only thing I had to drink, and I'm kind of wired, so I'll see you later.